Vince Williams is going to go to All-Star Weekend. Now, what a great thing for him.
Kudos to Vince Williams Jr. You know, he was an injury replacement on the Panini Rising Stars. He'll get a chance to be part of the All-Star Weekend showcase.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Ahead of you, catch me is something you'll never do. I turn around and I level you. No motivation is needed. Look, I put myself on the pedestal. This is incredible.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Did you do anything in that St. Joe's game?
No, I was strictly playing defense. Delonte West was tough. That's a pro. Oh, my God. That step back in that.
Oh, wait, hold on. 40 minutes. You didn't even get a rest.
No, I played the whole game.
40. 6 for 11 from the field.
That was me.
12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
Oh, I was nice that game. I thought I ain't getting double figures.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you a healthcare professional looking for a new experience? Look no further than Travel Nurses, Inc. Our extensive network of healthcare facilities across the country offers you the opportunity to discover new destinations while pursuing your passion. We provide competitive compensation, flexible contracts, and dedicated assistance. So join our community of nurses and allied health professionals and start your next adventure today. Visit our website at travelnursesinc.com for more information.
From the Bill Ford Tough Studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Bill Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope if you had a few hours last night, you made time for the Elite Eight of the women's NCAA tournament, because we had a doubleheader and it was star-studded and it lived up to expectations, and Iowa advanced to the Final Four and UConn advanced to the Final Four. So we get Caitlyn Clarke and Paige Bueckers matched up in a national semifinal, and the winner of that probably going to get what would be undefeated South Carolina in the championship game. It's shaping up to be something special. We'll talk about it in a second. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this open, I'm going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Jaren Jackson Jr. went for 40 points last night. 110-108 victory for the Grizzlies over the Pistons. Those poor Pistons. We'll take wins where we can get them, Bennett, but those poor Pistons. Woo! We'll get into that in the next segment. Reigning NBA MVP Joel Embiid is nearing a return to the court. There were reports that it could be tonight against Oklahoma City. Starting to look like it could be Thursday at Miami. I'll give you the latest in just a bit. The biggest history was made last night. The biggest domestic gate in WWE Raw history was made last night. Barclays Center, Brooklyn. The Rock and Roman Reigns beat up Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins again. This Cody Rhodes is taking a beating on his path to WrestleMania. He keeps bleeding. He's bleeding a lot.
It ain't done yet.
It doesn't feel like it's
ain't
done.
over yet.
It ain't over yet.
Little Cody crybabies.
The Cody crybabies. Woo! WrestleMania now 4 days away. We'll talk about it in the next segment. Astros right-hander Ronel Blanco threw a no-hitter last night, just his 8th career start. Cool stuff in Houston. Meantime, the Mets are 0-4. I don't even know. I
don't know either, dude.
I don't know what to do.
I didn't want to. You brought it up. I didn't want to bring it up.
I don't even know what to do.
Over before it started. GP.
I mean, I got to think about this. A 2023. The only things I care about are the Mets and the Grizzlies. It's the only things I care about. I don't care about anything else.
Yep.
2023 Mets fall apart early, over before it starts. 2023-24 Grizzlies fall apart, over before it starts. 2024 Mets, over before it starts. I'm getting nothing to have fun with.
Man.
I like this.
Oh, there's still a long way to go. They can turn it around. Give it a couple weeks at least.
It's over. Everything stinks. Everything stinks. We'll talk about that a little later on in the show. Former AAC member SMU continues to improve its place in the sports world. First, the Mustangs left us. They left us and they joined the ACC, and now they just went out and hired USC's basketball coach.
Damn.
No big deal. Andy Infield's now your coach at SMU. We'll talk about that during 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry-out and call today. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with the 2024 Women's NCAA Tournament because that was front and center last night on the sports calendar. We had 2 Elite 8 games. It was a doubleheader on ESPN, Iowa LSU, UConn USC, the winners advancing to the Final Four. The losers would watch their seasons come to a close. The bigger game, of course, was the first one. Caitlyn Clarke, she met the moment once again. The final score, Iowa 94, LSU 87. Caitlyn Clarke, the sport's all-time leading scorer, finished with 41 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. She was the main reason the Hawkeyes outscored LSU 24-13 in the third quarter. That broke a halftime tie, and it pushed Iowa to its second straight Final Four, third Final Four in school history. Later on in the night, Paige Bueckers led UConn to a 80-73 win over USC. So the women's Final Four is now set on Friday in Cleveland. The national semifinal is going to get played. Game 1, South Carolina against NC State. NC State, both men and women, in the Final Four. Game 2, Iowa against UConn. We got 2 number 1 seeds and 2 number 3 seeds. If the favorites win, we will get undefeated South Carolina against Caitlyn Clarke in Iowa on Sunday afternoon on ABC in what would likely be the most watched women's college basketball game of all time. Just awesome stuff all around. Bennett, I know you got a family.
Yep.
And you got Grizz Pistons, and you got Raw. There's a lot going on in your world. Were you able to dedicate any time to the women's NCAA tournament last night?
Not only was I able to dedicate time, and this is not hyperbole, last night was the most women's basketball I think I've ever watched.
Okay, Bennett.
Because I watched, here's the thing, is you're clearly, everyone's talking about the Iowa LSU matchup, right? Caitlyn Clarke going up against that LSU team, loaded with stars, and she lost to them in the championship last year. And so there was a ton of hype around that one. So I'm watching that one. I got multiple screens going last night. I got Raw on. I got Jaren's 40-piece on the other screen.
It's a big night.
A big night. But, they're hyping up the second game with Paige Bueckers and Juju Watkins and USC and UConn. And so I'm like, okay, well, this first game was freaking awesome.
Right.
And so I left it on, watched the second game, and it was freaking awesome, dude.
It really is awesome.
Yeah.
And I every once in a while acknowledging Twitter is not a real place, and if you ever think that it is, you've lost your mind.
Right.
Like just because you see people shouting things on Twitter doesn't mean that that's actually what real people think. It's just what weirdos think often.
That's right. I have to remind myself of that.
Me too sometimes,
Yep.
but I tried my best to never forget it. So I acknowledge Twitter's not a real place, but every once in a while you'll see people tweet things like, somebody will tweet something positive about Caitlyn Clarke or about Angel Reese or about Paige Bueckers or about Juju Watkins or about anything related to women's sports. It could be the WNBA finals. And somebody say, oh, you're out there trying to just, show the world that you support women's sports, but you don't really care about this stuff. And I guess maybe somebody does that sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. I guess somebody probably has done that sometime. I genuinely don't do stuff like that. I don't pay attention to anything that it doesn't interest me. Nothing. You can walk in here and say, GP, are you watching this new show? And I say, I never heard of it. And you say, oh, you got to watch it. It's the best thing in the world. And I really love it. And I know what you kind of like, and you'd probably like it too. And I'll say, okay. And, unless I get to a point where I want to watch it, I just won't. Just because the whole world's saying that I should, including you. Like, I'll just get to it when I get to it. And if I don't, then I won't. But I won't feel pressured to, like, watch something that I don't care about or tweet about something that I don't care about. I just sort of mind my own business. I care about the things that I care about, and I leave everything else alone. That's at least what I try to do. Like, you're not going to see me popping on when everybody's tweeting about the finale of The Bachelor and they're having a great time with it, and you're not going to see me jump on and go, I don't know why you idiots waste your time watching these stupid reality shows. What a waste of life. Like, just they're having fun. Let them do it. I don't have to be involved in everything, right? So I don't do stuff like that. My point being, I'm not opening a show today. I didn't spend any time on yesterday's show on this very specific women's NCAA tournament that we're experiencing to prove any point or to support anything. I just genuinely think it's awesome and super interesting, and in many ways more interesting than the men's tournament. Like, I was more interested in those two games last night and how they unfolded on some level than I was in any doubleheader in the men's tournament that we had in the Elite Eight. And though I can't wait for the men's Final Four, I'm flying to Phoenix tomorrow. I don't know that there's any national semifinal, men's or women's, that's cooler than Paige Bueckers and Caitlyn Clarke, UConn and Iowa. In a national championship game, we could get either the biggest and baddest program of all time, UConn with a former National Player of the Year, Paige Bueckers, or the Caitlyn Clarke phenomenon. Either one of them facing an undefeated South Carolina team in the title game. Like, on the men's side, we can't get a title game that cool. We can get like Purdue and UConn, and that would be awesome. But I think just in terms of historical relevance, if you were to get Caitlyn Clarke against an undefeated South Carolina, like that'll be an all-time great moment, anticipated moment in women's sports. So this women's tournament is unfolding in a way that is generating interest in a real organic and genuine way. I don't think you watched that last night because you felt like you needed to support women's sports. I think you watched that last night, Bennett, because it was like, hey, this Caitlyn Clarke thing is a phenomenon. I'll turn it on. Angel Reese, Kim Mulkey, I know those people. I'll turn it on. I'm watching. This is fun. I guess I'll watch the next game. That's fun. That was a fun night of basketball. I don't think you were trying to support. You didn't go buy a WNBA sweatshirt last night. You just wanted to watch interesting sports, and that's what it was last night.
Yeah, and I think, too, it really helped coming off of the men's Final Four week, because you got basketball just on your mind, right? Like you're watching tournament games all weekend, and so you want to see more, and then it works out that these big-time games are on a Monday night.
Well, I actually think this is where women's basketball misses an opportunity a little bit, and I'm confident that there's reasons for this, and there's conflicts, and it's more complicated than I realize. I say that up front, but if I were in the room, I would be trying to figure out while saying, okay, I know it's complicated. You guys explain to me why it's complicated. And then I'm going to explain to you how we need to start working to try to undo this. My point being this. You're exactly right. We're in postseason, March Madness, basketball. It actually overshadows the NBA too. Like, we're in the dog days of the NBA regular season, and people sort of drift away from. Like, if you go to ESPN's homepage, I don't think one of the top headlines, when I looked at some point overnight, it was not like the reigning NBA MVPs coming back. It was like Angel Reese. It was Paige Bueckers. It was Caitlyn Clarke. It was Juju Watkins. So all this stuff is overshadowing the NBA a little bit as well. But when you look at this, it starts with the Sweet 16 on the men's side on Thursday, right? So you get those games on Thursday. I guess it's 4 games on Thursday night in the men's tournament, Sweet 16. And then you get 4 games on Friday night in the men's tournament, Sweet 16. And then you get Elite 8 games on the men's tournament on Saturday, Elite 8 games on Sunday. You also get Elite 8 games on the women's side on Sunday. So the Elite Eight games on the women's side, where the men go Saturday, Sunday, the women go Sunday, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would be so much bigger if you just stepped out of the men's tournament. In other words, let the men go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now the women's Elite Eight games are actually Monday and Tuesday night. And then you got to push back the championship game, Final Four. I got all that. I'm just saying, I would tonight when we get to GP's carryout, we got to pick a game. What if we had 2 Elite Eight women? What if we had last night's schedule on tonight because we had South Carolina on last night? Like, this is like a sports night where it's just baseball and NBA stuff.
Right.
Women's basketball, you're not competing against the men's tournament, whereas on Sunday you are sort of competing against the men's tournament. I just think it's a missed opportunity. You should go men's tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, women's Elite Eight games on Monday, Tuesday. Give those two, like these 2 nights could be theirs completely.
Yep.
As the way they schedule it, they only get the Monday night, but the Monday night was big, and it lived up to expectations. I thought Kim Mulkey was gracious in defeat. She complimented Caitlyn Clarke afterwards. And now we get an Iowa UConn game that's interesting for a variety of reasons. I think most people know the Caitlyn Clarke story at this point. But do most people realize it was never her dream to play college basketball at Iowa? She is from Iowa. She's an Iowa girl. It was not her dream to play college basketball at Iowa. You know where her dream was to go to school?
UConn.
That's right. She has like a caricature in her. She grew up with a caricature in her bedroom of her in a UConn uniform. And when asked about this, so it was your dream to go to UConn and you're the greatest college player of all time, or at least the all-time leading scorer. You're about to be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. You're in your 2nd straight Final Four. If it was your dream to go to UConn, why didn't you go to UConn? They never recruited her. Never. They never talked to her, never talked to her family, never came to an open gym. And I'm sure Gino has his reasons, like that he, was enrolling Paige Bueckers. I'm sure he has his reasons.
But she was still a highly touted recruit.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's a bit of a revenge story for sure.
Oh, yeah. On a very surface level, she's the type of player UConn should have wanted.
Yeah.
And they did not want her. So think about what this Caitlyn Clarke story, if it actually materializes and becomes like the best version of what it could become. It's already an amazing story that'll be a documentary someday and probably a major motion picture as well. But think about what it could be. She surprisingly goes to the national championship game last season, loses to LSU. Angel Reese hits her with the ring. And then she comes back. And she's the biggest thing in college basketball, men's or women's, all season long. Just bombing from everywhere. She's everybody's National Player of the Year. Big Ten tournament champions, Big Ten regular season champs. She's got them in the NCAA tournament again. They get to the Elite Eight. It's the reigning national champions. It's Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey again. It's the people who ended your season last season. Now you got to go through them to get back to a Final Four. And Stephen A. Smith is on ESPN yesterday morning, talking about Caitlyn Clarke's legacy on the line. How do you respond to that? 41 points.
You're right.
Eliminate LSU. Next up, in the national semifinals, it's Gino Auriemma, the man who did not recruit you, even though you wanted to go to UConn. He never called you, never came to see you. It's the biggest brand in women's basketball. And it's Paige Bueckers, who was, at one point while you were in college, considered the best college basketball player in the country. And if you get through that in the championship game, it's probably Dawn Staley and undefeated South Carolina. I don't know enough about women's basketball to sit here and try to tell you whether Iowa and Caitlyn Clarke will pull this thing off. I gather South Carolina is the favorite. But if she does, buddy, it lined up in an amazing way.
Yeah.
Elite Eight LSU, Final Four UConn, championship game possibly South Carolina. That is legendary stuff if you get that done. And it is with all respect to the men's tournament, and I cannot wait to get down to Arizona, but that's the biggest story in college athletics right now, and I think arguably the biggest story in sports right now, this Caitlyn Clarke thing that we watched take its latest step last night. So Caitlyn Clarke held her post-game media responsibilities, and she was great, said all the things you would expect her to say. Angel Reese talked to the media as well. And her teammates really went out of their way to stand up for her and talk about the hate that she takes, the abuse online that she takes, and more or less said, listen, you guys can make her out to be whatever you want to make her out to be. Call her the villain if you want to. You don't know this woman. This woman is our heart and soul. This woman is our leader. This woman is our best friend. This woman is the strongest woman I know. And it's just frustrating and disappointing to watch her take all of the stuff she's been taking over the past year from people all over the world who don't really know her the way we know her in this locker room. And it was a sweet moment to watch them stand up and make these points in that moment. And then at some point it was Angel Reese's turn to talk, and she sort of continued that conversation. We'll watch it together.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and, like, not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, no, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
I'm glad she ended smiling. It seemed like she sort of, went around the world a little bit there. The thing that stood out to me, she said she hasn't been happy since she won the national championship. Imagine. Like, it's your dream to win a national championship. That's the thing that's supposed to make you happy. She said, I haven't been happy since we won the national championship, because her entire world changed when she won the national championship, and not necessarily in the best of ways. Yes, she became more famous. She became a Sports Illustrated model. She got NIL deals, made lots of money. But she also became the target of a lot of hate, because she wasn't just Angel Reese, awesome basketball player, national champion. Like most of us, if we're being honest, didn't know Angel Reese until when? When's the first time you can remember knowing that Angel Reese existed?
Leading up to that national championship game.
Leading up to it, and if not leading up to it, when she put her finger in Caitlyn Clarke's face. Like, she was not thrust into celebrity as this amazing young woman who just led LSU to a national championship. That's not who she was. That's not how she was portrayed. That's who she was. It's not how she was portrayed. She was that woman from LSU who was mocking Caitlyn Clarke. That woman from LSU who is a sore winner. You ready? The black woman from LSU who was putting her hand in the white woman's face. That's how she got portrayed. And I imagine every day since then, whether it be on Twitter, X, Instagram, wherever else Angel Reese might be, it's been hard out there. So hard that she says she's dealing with death threats. Obviously racism, sexism, all that stuff. She says there, after her last game of the season, I'm a human, you know? Yes, I'm a competitive basketball player who talks trash when I'm on the court. I'm also a human. I see this stuff. It hurts. And there's a real lesson in there for everybody. We are learning about social media in real time, all of us together. Like, certainly if you're my age, you didn't grow up with this stuff.
Right.
It sort of, and thank God, probably.
Yeah.
But people around Angel Reese's age are growing up with this stuff. They've almost never lived in a world where it didn't exist. And when we get all the info and data back, I think the studies are going to show none of this is healthy. None of this is good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll almost, you know how people will see videos from like the 80s or the 70s, and you'll see folks like smoking around babies or in planes, or, you might see a 2-year-old drinking a Coke, or 4 kids sitting in the back of a pickup truck going down the interstate. All these things that were just very normal things. You'd see them every day in the 70s or 80s. Like, I went on a vacation when I was a child, all right? As a family, we drove to Florida. And my brother and I rode in the back of the truck with a topper on the truck.
Oh, yeah.
They put, like, foam in the back, and we just sort of laid in the back of a truck. And that was I should be clear, it was awesome. We had our own little clubhouse.
Hell yeah.
All the way to Florida. But if your neighbors told you they were about to drive to Florida today with their kids in the back of the truck, you would say, that's crazy. You can't do that.
Nah.
Right?
That's living.
Or perhaps it's living. But it seems I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I'd probably be careful myself. Maybe.
So the way we look back on these things and we go, my God, can you believe? Can you believe you used to ride in the back of a truck to Florida? Or people used to smoke on planes? Or around babies? Or any of this stuff? Could you believe any of this stuff? You know what we're going to look back on like 40 years from now and be like, can you believe? Can you believe we used to hand 9-year-olds iPads?
Right.
That's going to be where we're at.
Oh, guilty.
Can you believe we used to let teenagers on social media? It's going to be just as crazy as can you believe we used to smoke around babies. It'll be just as crazy and just as damaging.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Perhaps more.
Perhaps more.
Yeah.
Perhaps more. And I think it's easy for people to forget that. You see Angel Reese on a basketball court, and she's tough, and she's talking, and she just looks like a superhero. And so you can, I guess, tweet some wild stuff at her, make some wild comments under an Instagram post, and you don't think you're talking to a real person. But like she told you last night, she's human. You see this all the time on social media. Like, Kim Kardashian is one of the most famous women in the world. She's a successful businesswoman, a billionaire, based off of a company that she built. It's an amazing success story. You can make all your jokes if you want to. That woman is an amazing success story. And she can do nothing more than take her children to see the Easter Bunny, the same way every mother takes their children to see the Easter Bunny, and post a picture of her babies with the Easter Bunny. And within 1 minute, somebody's going to call her a whore and use a racial slur. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like, I guess when you get to that level, maybe you just learn, really don't even look at anything. But like, imagine if you just posted nice pictures of your kids with the Easter Bunny and the first thing you see is that you're a whore. And then 70,000 likes on it. Like, what? People are wild. And I do think it's easy for some folks to lose track of it. Like, just, you're constantly just, what is the point?
Yeah.
I genuinely don't even understand people who just get online and complain about everything. Like, I complain about things in my own life to people I deal with in my own life. I don't spend a lot of time just on social media complaining about the whole world every day.
Right.
Tweeting about everything I hate every single day. But I see it all day long. It's just people constantly just so eager to tell you about everything they hate and who they hate and why they hate it all day long. I don't know. It just seems like a weird way to spend your time. And when you direct it specifically at people, real damage can be done. Angel Reese is, by all accounts, a tough young woman. I'm sure she'll be great in whatever she pursues next. But she also seemed like a woman that had been beaten down a little bit last night by the pressures and the weight of everything. Some of it is stuff she created. I'm sure she would tell you that. But no matter what she's ever done on a basketball court, what she's ever said or how she's ever taunted, I'm confident it's undeserving of some of the stuff she's had to deal with on social media. And I thought it was interesting that she took a minute out of her post-game press conference last night to highlight that. Hopefully it'll be helpful to the young women she was trying to talk to at the end of that press conference. We come back, we'll turn our attention to the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr., 40-piece last night, Grizzlies victory. Oh, buddy, wouldn't it be nice to play the Pistons every night?
Oh, I'd love that.
We should work on
They'll
that.
be here this weekend.
We should work on that.
Yep.
We'll talk Grizz next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets this Thursday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. The brand new single, Selfish, is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Gasol with 4 seconds for the win. Yes!
Mark is one of the more competitive people you'll meet.
He ain't losing. Their willingness to go out and try to compete every day, not just wait for a game, not wait for a regular season game, not wait for a playoff game, but every day is what made Mark special.
He was a big part of that identity, right? And a big part of that's why the team was so successful, because he had that anchor in him.
The Grizzlies, to this day, wouldn't be the Grizzlies without the contribution of Marc Gasol.
Don't Worry Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis Don't Worry Be Fluffy World Tour.
Gasol with 4 seconds for the win. Yes!
Mark is one of the more competitive people you'll meet.
He ain't losing. Their willingness to go out and try to compete every day, not just wait for a game, not wait for a regular season game, not wait for a playoff game, but every day is what made Mark special.
He was a big part of that identity, right? And a big part of that's why the team was so successful, because he had that anchor in him.
The Grizzlies, to this day, wouldn't be the Grizzlies without the contribution of Marc Gasol.
Real country music with Cody Johnson live Saturday, April 13th at FedEx Forum. Country's best. The Leather Tour with Cody Johnson. With special guest Justin Moore. Also featuring Drake Milligan. VIP and reserve seats on sale at Ticketmaster.com in the FedEx Forum box office. Cody Johnson.
We know there's only one team you want to watch, and Bally Sports is the place to get your Grizzlies. Experience the comebacks, the buzzer beaters, the can't-miss Memphis-made moments live. Bally Sports keeps the grind going before and after the game, too, with Pete, Brevin, Fish, and Chris on Grizzlies Live. Watch Grizzlies basketball all season long with Bally Sports and streaming on the Bally Sports app. Bally Sports, home of the only team you want to watch.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, Visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and OrthoSouth will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now, got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Grizzlies 110, Pistons 108. Victory.
How about that?
That's Road Warriors up to their old tricks.
Let's go.
The Road Warrior Grizzlies up to their old tricks.
Yes, they are.
Man,
not going to get above 500. It's not going to happen. That's done. But that's okay.
I know.
We fought for it for a second.
We fought.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the fight. Can't win every fight. We're in the fight, though.
17-22 on the road's respectable, though.
All things considered.
Yep.
All things considered. You know who would kill for 17-22 on the road?
Who's that?
Those Pistons.
Yeah.
They stink.
They kill for a lot of things right now.
Hey, buddy, whenever you start to feel down about yourself, just remind yourself you're not a Piston.
Mm-hmm.
I know life can get hard for people,
Yeah.
Especially this time of the year when it's raining outside and stuff.
Yep.
Look outside, it's all gloomy. It gets you down. The weather has a tendency to impact your mood, Bennett. Did you know that?
I did know that.
You look out that window, sometimes you see bright sunshine. Makes you feel a certain way, doesn't it?
Oh, no.
No?
I like gloomy.
Oh, you're into this.
I'm into it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little, I have a dark heart, yeah.
Okay. I can appreciate
I do
some
like gloomy weather.
You like the gloomy weather?
Yeah, I do.
It's a good nap weather, I tell you that. You like to take a nap in this weather?
Of course.
Oh, but
I know, my eyes are a little heavy right now.
You going to sleep in your car a little later on today?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not today.
Okay.
Maybe Friday.
Well, for most people, I find this to be true with myself. I look outside, I see a beautiful sunshiny day. I go, man, that makes me feel a certain kind of way. That makes me feel a certain kind of way. And then I look outside and I see gloomy like this, and it just makes me want to I wouldn't mind crawling back into bed, Makes me feel a different kind of way. Sometimes make you feel kind of down a little bit. But anytime you start to feel down, you know what I try to do? Remind myself I'm not a Piston.
Yeah.
And I never will be.
Yep. They're in a tough spot.
They're in a tough spot.
I don't know what they're going to do.
What are they going to do?
I really don't know.
You would think, you know what your solution would be.
Yeah.
It'd be like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the number 1 pick in the draft. And it's like, dude, you do that all the time.
I know.
You already do that all the time.
Dude, and they wasn't Cade Cunningham the number 1 overall pick? That man had 36 points last night. They still lost.
You have all the picks and all the drafts all the time.
Right.
You never do anything good with them. I mean, that's actually not true. They actually draft some interesting players. And then they're just a shit team still.
It's crazy, dude.
I tell you what, Bennett, when life gets hard, I need you to just remember, you're not a Piston. Like Angel Reese, I hope she woke up this morning and, among other things, reminded herself she's not a Piston.
Right.
I know sometimes it can get tough out there, but it can always get tougher. And by tougher, I mean you could always wake up one day and find yourself as a Piston. And wouldn't that be rough?
Yeah.
Were you inspired by Jaren Jackson's 40-piece?
I was very inspired. I was actually more inspired by Brandon Clarke, who continues to look good in his return.
Better than you expected?
For sure. I mean, just because, like last night he had, I think, 15 and 7, and the game before he had 13 points. Like, the fact that, listen, if you're going to tell me coming into next season that I get 13 to 15 points and 7 rebounds a night out of Brandon Clarke, let's go. Like that, I'm in, okay? And so the fact that he's come back and looked like his old self, I think is a really great sign for this team, because you don't really know what your big man depth is going to look like coming into next season. But if you know coming into next year, you got Jaren and you got BC back to his old self, I think you feel pretty good about, whatever else they do.
I didn't feel strongly either way about whether Brandon Clarke should come back and play this season or not.
Right.
Like, that debate happened. We participated in it. I understood both sides of it. I think ultimately I landed on, if he's healthy enough to play and he wants to play, it's professional sports, he should play. That's where I landed. I understood the logic behind he shouldn't play in a season going nowhere. I understood the logic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I landed on, if he's healthy and he wants to play, and the front office, which has way more at stake than I do or you do, they want him to play and they're comfortable with it, then I'd feel silly standing up and screaming the other side of it. But still, I was, again, open to the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say once he does play and you start looking at, okay, so what are the advantages of him playing? Well, think about if he wasn't playing. You know what we'd spend part of the offseason doing? So, what's Brandon Clarke going to look like?
When he comes back.
We'd spend a whole offseason talking about, we just don't know. We haven't seen Brandon Clarke in a long, it's been a long time. He missed the whole season. We hadn't seen him since the 2022-23 season. So what's Brandon Clarke going to look like? We'd spend the whole offseason wondering what Brandon Clarke's going to look like. Now we're actually going to have evidence of what Brandon Clarke looks like post-Achilles. And so far, so good.
So far, so good.
So far, encouraging. So the early returns are good. So if you were on the fence about should he play, should he not play, just know that as he is playing, that needle should be moving more this direction because we're getting good stuff out of this. Not only is he playing, he's playing well. And it is, I think, removing at least one question mark that otherwise would be there heading into the next season. If he never played this season, we would spend, if it was 10 big questions heading into next season for the Grizzlies. One of those questions would be, how's Brandon Clarke going to look?
Right.
Well, that doesn't have to be a question anymore.
That's right.
We're watching it right now. So please just stay healthy, of course.
Yes.
Stay healthy. Keep playing well. And that was fun. I know sometimes we get to this point in the season and folks are really lottery odd watching. And you are like, I don't want to win games when we could be losing games.
Right.
And I'd rather lose than win because a loss is a win. I'm just never going to get there with this team in this season. The wins don't offend me. And to just see Jared and Desmond smile after the game, just to see them smile in a post-game interview, that's worth whatever it might do to your lottery odds, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the standings right now, there's really, it doesn't look like there's going to be any real movement.
They're going to be right where they are.
They're going to be where they are, it looks like.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to catch Brooklyn, who's 4 games ahead of them. Toronto can't win a game, so you're not going to fall back behind Toronto. They've lost 13 in a row. So, yeah, I think the Grizzlies kind of are where they are in the standings, and that's what it's going to be. Yeah, right. So enjoy the rest of the way.
Enjoy it. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, too. That was a lot of fun. Let's do it again on Friday.
Let's do it again.
Beat their ass on Friday.
Oh, come get some more.
Sorry, Pistons. I'm sorry.
Come get some more, though.
Yeah.
If you want some more.
Yeah, if you want some, come get some.
If you want some more, come get some more.
Yeah, maybe third time's a charm.
I doubt it, though. I doubt it,
too.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right.
Number 2.
The reigning MVP is set to return soon. There was some speculation that it would be tonight against Oklahoma City on TNT. Oh, wouldn't the NBA love that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't TNT love that? I got bad news for you. Joel Embiid did not participate in shoot-around this morning.
Uh-oh.
It is no longer expected to play.
Well, that is good because considering we play them this Saturday, so likely see him on Marc Gasol's jersey retirement night. That'll be fun.
Because it would be Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday, they play.
Is it Miami?
Yes.
Yep.
It's Thursday at Miami.
Yeah. So
and then at Memphis.
Yeah, and it's not a back-to-back, so you would think you'd probably see him play. That'd be good.
Right. I always wonder because so many of the NBA franchises, they hate the NBA schedule, the regular season schedule. Load management is a byproduct of we think you schedule us ridiculously.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always want when you see things like this, because Woj reported yesterday, Embiid is expected back Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder if it's tonight's a TNT game, and the Sixers on some level are you know what, F them. Let's mess up this TNT game. We'll give Joel a couple of days off more. A couple of days off. Because they that's why they had to start fining franchises for sitting people in nationally televised games.
Right.
Because certainly Popovich, I know LeBron would do it sometimes. They would make points with the schedule. Oh, you wanted to schedule us on a back-to-back so that you could put us on TNT? Or a third game in 4 days so that you could put us on TNT? Well, then we just won't play in the game on TNT. All right? Stop it. I wonder if, I just find it interesting. He was expected to come back tonight for a TNT game, and now they're just pushing it back. I'm sure it's nothing more than they just think it's what's best for Joel Embiid. But I bet you it's a bummer for the NBA. You could have your MVP back tonight on TNT, and instead, it looks like you're not going to get that.
Yeah, I think it's, again, we've talked about this a lot. Like, I don't really know what the solution is, but there's got to be some kind of change, it feels like, because I do not think these franchises are going to change the way they do things when you're scheduling back-to-backs and you have star players that are dealing with injuries or nagging things. Like, I just don't, regardless of the fines, I just don't think it's going to change the way that franchises operate.
Well, they put in the game limit and for awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was supposed to provide an incentive for people to play when they otherwise might not. And I guess it's worked on some level. I've heard some people argue that you got to shorten the season. Instead of playing 82, let's make it 70 or 64 or 58 or whatever. I'm just throwing out numbers. And I guess, except I think here's what Adam Silver would tell you. We play 82. And you ready for this? We've been playing 82 for a long time. And this didn't used to be a problem.
Yep.
Our guys didn't used to complain about playing. We have run this league for a long time. The Michael Jordans, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, the Charles Barkleys, they all played an 82-game schedule, and it wasn't a problem. They all played an 82-game schedule. You ready for this? For far less money, and it wasn't a problem. So why is the 82-game schedule a problem now?
In my opinion, it's because these teams have caught on to, and the way the things that we have to be ready for the postseason. That's all that matters is the NBA play, and that's another season into itself. The NBA playoffs last a long time. Like, look at the Lakers, for example. I'm sure they would rather be in that top 6 than in the play-in, but they just want to get there. They know that they can win a series on the road, right? And I think a lot of teams operate that way. I think the Denver Nuggets, they're going to end up probably one of the top 3 seeds regardless, but I think they operate in this. Like, we just got to get there. We just need to get there any way we can, fully healthy.
There's no denying that is the logic. Mike Malone has said it. He coaches the reigning champs, and he said our goal is not to win the West. Our goal is to be healthy for the playoffs. So when the head coach of your reigning champs is saying this is our strategy, well, then that highlights how devalued the regular season is. You're right. People just want to get in, and then let's play.
Yep. And listen, once the playoffs come around, viewership will go up. It'll be a whole different thing.
I know.
It always changes.
I get it. You're right. But to continue the point I was making, here's what I think Adam Silver would tell you. Okay, so they say shorten the season. Are you willing to take less money in your contracts?
No.
You're going to have to.
Right. It's a tough spot.
Okay, you make $60 million now. You willing to make 42? That's what's like, and I'm making up numbers, but you get the point. If we ain't playing as many games, we ain't got as much revenue.
Right.
That means that salary cap's got to come down. You comfortable with that?
No.
That's probably where the conversation stops, by the way. But if you want to continue the conversation, they said, yeah, we're comfortable with that. We want to work less for less money. Most people in real life turn that down. If I told you right now you could work more for more money or less for less money, what would you do?
Work more for more money.
That's most people.
Yes,
That's what most people would do, right? So the conversation probably ends with, do you guys want to take less money? We'll shorten it to what? You want to play a 5-game regular season? And we can shorten it to whatever you want to, but it's going to dramatically cut what you guys make. You want to do that? Well, that's probably where the conversation stops, all right? But even if it doesn't, here's what I think Adam Silver would tell you. We could cut it to 70 and space the games out. We can't make them care. They either care or they don't. The problem isn't 82 because we've been doing 82 forever. And people used to care about 82. We could cut it to 70, but we can't make them care. And by the way, these are the same people, the players, that we just went to about the All-Star game. And we said, tell us what you need us to do to make you care about this. And they said, well, Commissioner, the introductions are too long. Like, we're out there warming up, and then we got to watch introductions for 45 minutes. We can't go out there and then play because we're not. We cooled down. Okay, cool. Shorter introductions. Got it. Anything else? The halftime. You can't have Kanye West and Rihanna coming out there and playing 6 songs halftime while we're back there cooled down. We got to, it needs to be a normal halftime. Okay, cool. We'll bring out Jennifer Hudson. She'll do one song. Anything else? And they went out and they made all the adjustments, and the players didn't play, didn't care. So Adam Silver's like, the problem here isn't any of the things everybody's debating. The problem is we have players who don't care about the stuff we need them to care about. And we don't actually think shortening the season is going to make them care more. Unless you shorten it so dramatically that every game really is important. But you shorten it that dramatically where every game really is important. And then you just slash salary so much that you're not even doing that anyway. So it's a real problem. But I think it starts with, how do you get people to care? And I don't know that it has anything to do with anything we were talking about with Joel Embiid, but it's just a side conversation that, it seems like it's going to be connected to the NBA until they figure some things out. And these things just might be things that they can't figure out. Either way, if you were hoping to watch Joel Embiid, your reigning MVP, on TNT tonight in a big, high-profile professional basketball game, sounds like he's not going to be there. Sounds like he's going to come back in Miami later on in the week. We'll see.
Number 3.
Cody Rhodes got beat up again last night. I tell you, this lead up to WrestleMania been tough on his body.
Last night's beating was way worse than the first one. I know there was bloodshed on the first one, but dude, those belt hits,
they seem like they hurt.
How does that not hurt? I understand. Like, let's be serious for a second. I understand it's wrestling and like it's what do I want to use here to describe it? It's not fake. It's
scripted.
It's scripted. That's right. And I understand that a lot of the bumps and stuff like that, they're not. They're supposed to look way worse than they actually are.
Sure.
I don't understand how those belt lashes he got last night don't hurt just as bad as they look and sound.
Okay. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a wrestling expert. I'm sure that a wrestling expert could show you how there are ways to swing that belt and make the impact minimal. Like when Cody Rhodes is lying face down on the mat, you can sort of swing it over him.
Yeah, and you still get the crack.
And hit the other side of the mat before you actually hit his back, whereas all the energy goes to the mat, and then it doesn't directly hit his back. It does hit his back, but the emphasis is on the mat over his back. And with slick camera angles, I mean, that's the way they shoot wrestling is very important.
It is, yes.
They shoot it in a very specific way. Like those, like I work in television, and I have producers and directors who like also watch wrestling, and I don't even know if wrestling fans understand this, but like it is an amazing television product.
Yes.
Like my producers and directors are like, they shoot that so brilliantly and they never mess up. Like the music is always on cue and the pyro's always where it's supposed to be and the camera shot is always where it needs to be. Like they're really good at shooting it in a very specific way. But to your point, yes, there are moments undeniably where a big leather belt is coming across your back intensely. And that hurts.
Woo.
And that hurts. I'm sure that hurts.
Okay, so the one thing that I didn't like about last night, and it was an awesome show, the one thing that I didn't like is how they teased that Roman or Rock were going to fight Rollins, and then they were like, no, actually Solo's going to do it.
They always are making Solo fight.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, dude, you can't like give that to the crowd, that idea that one of y'all is willing to wrestle on Monday Night Raw, like, and then be like, no, it's actually going to be Solo. Like, don't do that.
At what point is Solo like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, Solo's always out. I love Solo. He's always out there.
Oh, and when he started talking, when they actually got him on the mic, I was like, oh, wait. Everybody be quiet. I got to hear this.
Solo's wild.
Yeah.
Solo's a wild dude. I love Solo. He's always willing to do anything anybody asks him to do. Like Solo's.
He's the enforcer.
He's like maybe the best ride or die there is on the planet right now.
Yep.
He'd do anything you need him to do.
Yep.
But at some point, don't you think, like, Solo's going to be... I've never seen so many other people volunteer another person to fight.
I know.
More than people are just volunteering Solo to fight.
It's so true.
It's like, and we will see you tonight. And the crowd's like, whoa, right, let's go. You will have to deal with Solo Sikoa. And Solo's like, And I was like, man, they're just making Solo fight again. It'd be like if you went to the bar with your buddies. You got 5 buddies, and you go to the bar every Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And every Friday night, you pick a fight, and then you make your one buddy handle it every Friday night.
Every Friday.
That's what the Bloodline does.
That's right.
They pick a fight every
right,
Friday night, and then they make Solo handle it. It's hilarious. All right? So, yeah, they put – I knew that was going to be a job for Solo. Everything's a job for Solo.
Yep.
I don't feel like they appreciate Solo.
No, they don't. He's going to turn on him one day.
He needs to.
Yeah, he's going to turn on him one day.
Y'all can't keep making me fight every Friday. And now they're bringing him out on Mondays, too.
Yep.
Making this dude fight on Mondays. Solo's got to be like, dude, Roman, you barely even show up to work. And when you show up to work, all you do is take 8 minutes to walk into the ring, raise your one up twice, watch some fireworks go off, ask 18,000 people to acknowledge you, and then call it a day. And then volunteer me to fight somebody every week. I'm tired, man.
My favorite thing Roman does now, too, is when they start booing, he goes, I'll leave. I'll leave. I love that. He gets here, I'll leave right now.
That's why he's about to lose. People are over it. People don't love it the way they did.
Man, I hate that.
Me too.
And I do not want that to happen.
Me too. It breaks
I
my
want
heart.
those Cody Crybabies to be shut up
Me too.
on Sunday night. I really do. But it's not trending that direction.
No, people are ready for somebody else to be the champion. They just are. I can feel it.
Man, and The Rock, that dude is 51 years old.
He's put together pretty good, ain't he?
How does he look like that?
Probably drugs and stuff.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he works out more than literally anyone.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it.
Well, it certainly looks that way.
Yeah, that dude's working out twice a day. Yeah,
it looks that way. I tell you.
51, it looks like that. He's the biggest dude out there. All those dudes in the ring, like professional wrestlers at their top of their game, and that dude is the biggest one by far.
And he's still the biggest star.
Yeah, man.
He just is.
Yeah,
and he's still the best.
When he came out last night.
He's still the best, like on the microphone, he's the best.
He is really good. He knew, because he's in a tough spot where when he comes back, you just assume everyone's going to love you. And you know what your plan is, right? Like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be the face of WrestleMania. I'm going to beat Roman. And then it changes. And now you're in this weird spot where, yeah, he's the bad guy, but people still love him. And so you get like the Rocky, followed by a whole arena full of boos. And so the fact that he's able to like deal with that and still be awesome on the mic, because that's got to be hard, right?
He just
like
flipped.
It's coming from different directions.
Oh, yeah.
It's they love you one second, then they hate you the next, and you got to be able to flow with that in the ring, on the mic, in real time. I'm impressed.
And he's running real counter to his public persona. Like, everybody loves The Rock.
Right.
And now he's walking around just beating the shit out of everybody, saying,
you
F
see
this,
Mama Rhodes.
F this,
you
F
see
you.
this Mama Rhodes.
F this, F you, F him, F her. Like, he's like, I love it. It's the best.
Yes.
It's the best. So we're probably going to have a title change this weekend. That's your prediction, right?
Yeah, I think
let's get your final prediction right now.
Ready? Okay, all right.
Are we going to have first?
Yep.
Tag team Saturday night.
Okay, I think that one is going to change. I think the Judgment Day is going to lose their titles.
No, who cares about that?
Well, you're talking about I thought you were talking about all the titles.
Yeah, nobody cares about the
Okay,
Judgment
I was
Day.
ready to go through all the titles.
No,
I'm going to tell you who's changing
We're not
hands.
going to nerd out.
Okay, all right.
We're not going to nerd out.
Right.
No, we
don't sleep on that tag ladder match. That's going to be a good one.
No, we ain't breaking down Judgment Day.
Okay, all right.
Although I am looking forward to Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley.
Me too. That title's not changing hands.
I love Becky Lynch.
No, Rhea Ripley is not that. She ain't losing that title. She's got next.
I like
She's
Becky
the one.
Lynch. I like Becky Lynch.
I like Becky too, but it's Rhea's time. It's Rhea's time.
Appears to be Rhea's time.
It's her time.
Her bottom's getting a lot of attention these days. You see that?
She's getting a whole lot of attention, and rightfully so.
You like her bottom?
I like Rhea Ripley. I'm a big fan.
What do you think of her butt?
It's great, but she's also just an awesome wrestler that I'm a huge fan of,
You're
and
right.
she deserves to keep her title.
I'm team Becky Lynch.
Okay, great.
I like Becky Lynch.
I like Becky too.
Are we going to have bloodline rules?
Yes. Rock is not losing his match at WrestleMania.
0% chance.
No. They win. They win for
Bloodline
Saturday. Bloodline, and it's going to be Bloodline rules on Sunday, and something will happen, and Cody wins that title. and fulfills the story.
And at what point are we going to have Rock against Roman Reigns hitting each other?
I don't know.
That's got to come at some point.
But he's leaving to go film a movie. He's done. He's done after Mania.
Oh,
he ain't gonna be part of SummerSlam.
No.
So I don't know. Maybe he leaves and comes back. I don't know.
I don't know either, Bennett. Hey, there's only one way to find out. There's actually a million ways to find out.
Also, Rollins gonna lose his title, I think, to McIntyre. You're not paying attention to the right thing.
Wasn't focused on the right thing.
You weren't focused on the right thing. Yeah.
Lost focus.
Yeah.
Then he'll have to regain his focus, and that'll get us through the summer.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins trying to regain his focus.
I don't want the Tribal Chief to lose his champion. I want him to break. He's not going to break the all-time record of longest title reign because I think he's still got like 1,000 days to go or something like that. But, dude, I don't want him to lose the title.
People are ready for it. I can sense it.
I sense it too, and I don't like it. They don't show the respect they deserve. The Tribal Chief deserves. Last night, I told my kid, I was like, "Get up off the couch, put those fingers up."
I really do. Even when
get up, get up. It's like the saying national anthem. Get up.
I am more likely to put my one up for Roman Reigns than I am to stand for the national anthem. Do you realize that?
That's at the Grizzlies game on Friday. Instead of the national, with everybody standing up with their hand over their heart for the national anthem, I'm gonna stand up and just do this the whole time.
When I swear to God, I notice I can just be sitting at my desk, and that music pops.
Get that finger up.
I put my one up immediately. It doesn't matter where I'm at. As soon as I hear that music, my one goes up immediately.
Me too.
I salute my Tribal Chief. I acknowledge him. I think it's over, though, this weekend.
I think it's over, too.
I think it's over. I know. It's too bad.
Number 4.
The Astros have another guy just throws no-hitters, apparently. That's great. Good for them, huh?
Yeah, man.
Ronel Blanco? You ever heard of this fella? Of course not.
No,
Nobody has.
I didn't.
He's
That's everyone who throws no-hitters now.
I know.
It's always somebody you never heard of.
It's always somebody from the Dominican Republic making his 8th career start. That's what we got last night.
Right.
Ronel Blanco throws his obviously first career no-hitter in his 8th career start. It's a reminder that baseball season is underway. Mets are 0-4. It's over, Ben. I mean, they can't hit, they can't pitch, they can't do nothing. I mean, what are we doing?
It's not over.
It is.
No, it's way early. But I don't think you can go 0-4 to start the season.
I was hoping it would just be like, the Major League Baseball season used to start during the Final Four. Like, I can remember being at a Final Four and like it was opening day on the Monday of the national championship game. And I can remember sitting in a hotel bar in like Houston watching a Mets game in the afternoon. Now it's starting, either the Final Four is late or opening day is early. I don't know what's going on. But I was hoping, all right, I'll be so busy I can't really focus on baseball. And then the tournament will be over, and it'll be like, all right, let's go Mets. And then, oh, man, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
They're already mathematically eliminated.
That's insane. But don't lie. Did you not kind of see it coming?
I'm always hopeful.
You're always hopeful?
I always just think, not in real life, I'm never hopeful. But in my Mets life, I'm always hopeful.
I just felt like...
Which makes no sense because my real life goes way better than the Mets.
I felt like the vibes were bad coming into this thing. The vibes didn't feel good. There was something about it. There's still a lot of time. What's the next series? I mean, you lost to the Tigers, who are 4-0. What's the next series? Let's see. Damn, where's the
Tonight,
schedule?
the Tigers again.
Well, that's tough.
Reds at Cincinnati. Got Ellie De La Cruz probably going to just run around the bases nonstop.
Oh my God, that schedule is rough.
Then got to go to Atlanta.
For 4 games.
I'm sure that'll be fun.
And then you get KC and Pittsburgh after that.
I mean, they might start like 0-11.
But then you got that West Coast trip. That schedule is looking rough, dude. Goodness gracious. Y'all's first half is brutal.
I get nothing fun in my life.
Like, you're playing all playoff teams the first half, minus a couple.
Nothing fun. Whole life.
Good luck, man. I was trying to get you hopeful here, and now I'm looking at that schedule, and I'm just like, dude, it's going to be hard to find some wins.
It's just disappointing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's tough. That's tough, man.
It is tough.
Hop on that Orioles bandwagon with me.
I just have to, it's in times like these, you just have to remind yourself that you're not a Piston,
That's
At least I'm not a Piston.
Rather be a Met than a Piston. You absolutely would. Y'all can get it back next year. The Pistons, it's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a minute. You're right, Bennett. That's one way to look at it for sure. Anyway, congrats to the Astros. Blanco, no-hitter, 8th career start.
Number 5.
Do you feel good when your neighbors leave you for better neighborhoods, or do you resent them for leaving you behind? How do you feel about SMU? That's what I'm asking.
I like to hold grudges.
Yeah.
And I feel a little resentful.
Yeah.
Like, that should be us.
Should be us.
Yeah, that should be us.
They left us for the ACC. SMU.
Yep.
It's now in the ACC.
Now, they paid a pretty penny for it.
They got it done, though.
Yep, they got it done.
Some people get into club comped,
Some people got to pay their way in.
Either way, you just want to get in the club, don't you?
You just want to get there any way you can.
I mean, I'd like to get comp, but if my options are pay to get in there, stand outside, I guess I'll just swipe this credit card,
I think you're right.
So sure, they paid their own way in, and that ain't something a Virginia or a Duke or North Carolina would have to do. But at least they now in the same club with Duke and North Carolina and Virginia. And because they were able to go out and hire USC's basketball coach yesterday. Andy Enfield is your next head coach at SMU. So if you were trying to figure out why SMU fired Rob Lanier after 2 years, even though he was certainly not bad and arguably good, well, it's because it appears they knew they could hire Andy Enfield from USC as they get ready to move into the ACC. So you're jealous of SMU. You don't wish them good things. You resent them for leaving you behind.
I do.
I understand that.
I do. I resent Louisville. I resent Cincinnati. I resent UCF. I resent all of them.
We're the only one still in this stupid neighborhood.
And there ain't no getting out.
No.
And
now we got new neighbors, and they don't take care of their yards.
Yeah, we're on a 30-year fixed mortgage.
Balloon payments.
We're not getting anywhere.
And we got new neighbors now. And you know what it's like when everybody moves out of the neighborhood. You've probably been in a neighborhood like this. I think a lot of people have been in neighborhoods like this.
Yep.
Like it's a nice new little neighborhood. Got a bunch of little young families.
Yep.
Everybody's doing the best they can, right? And everybody's doing the best they can. And it's like it's a nice new little neighborhood, and everybody's doing the best they can.
Yeah.
All right? And then 4 years passes, and fell over here, got him a raise, and Sally here, she finally graduated college and got her a full-time job. So they're going to move out the neighborhood. And now, we'll move somebody else in the neighborhood. But these houses, they're getting a little older now and starting to, they look in their age.
Yep.
All right? And then they got, and then these fellas over here, they moved out because, whatever happened for them. And you just still sort of here. You got some new neighbors. And these new neighbors, they don't seem like they's doing as well as your old neighbors.
No, and then what's worse about the new neighbors is they come in and you're a legacy in that neighborhood. You've been there, and so you expect maybe a level of appreciation.
Your flower beds are mature.
Yeah, like you want your new neighbors to come pay some respect. Right. Instead, they're making fun of you.
That's right.
Like they're sitting in their front yards making fun of you.
Right, and
they're clowning on you. All season.
Terrible patio furniture. Like their furniture looks terrible. Their flower beds look like shit.
Yep.
But they're still making fun of you.
Yeah, you got the pristine household in the neighborhood, and they're still just like, ha.
So you don't
losers.
So you don't, and it's like, yo, hold up. We think it's crazy that you moved into our neighborhood, but you moved into our neighborhood. Now you're making fun of us, and now our old neighbors, they got such a better neighborhood, and they're all rich, and now we're slumming it with you guys, and now all of a sudden, my weed eater's broke.
Right. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it at all.
This is what we're dealing with. SMU bought a new house, got a new housekeeper. Our weed eater's broke. I tell you one thing.
God, that sounds like me for real. So this is like my life.
You ever broke a weed eater?
It's like monthly.
Buddy, I tell you what. If you ever break a weed eater, it's over.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even
Dude, I break them.
You
all
ever
the
try
time.
to get a, what do they call that the thing that goes in a weed eater? The string?
The spool.
But what's that thing called?
What's
the thing that eats weeds?
I think it's all just the spool.
What's the thing that eats weeds, though? It's a weed eater, but it doesn't actually eat. It doesn't eat.
No, it cuts.
It cuts. It doesn't eat.
No.
That's a terribly named item. It's not it doesn't eat weeds. It cuts weeds. It's a weed cutter, not a weed eater. Why do we call that a weed eater, I wonder?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I tell you what, if that string ever gets messed up in a weed eater, forget about it.
You're done.
You're
done.
You're done.
I know. Trust me, I know.
It's impossible to fix.
I know. I like literally.
I'm convinced nobody knows how to fix the weed eater.
Dude, I have to re-spool my weed eater like every couple feet. Like I'll walk with it and it'd be looking good, and then I open it and the spool the wire is just everywhere, and I have to restring it.
And you have to bump it. Don't you have to bump it?
And then I gotta go a couple more feet and.
But isn't that what they tell you to bump it?
Yeah.
Like you have to bump it. I just remember that's always they tell me. They'd be like, "You gotta bump it," and I'd be like,
"I am.
I'm doing it. I'm doing what you say." And then it all messes up. You have to take it apart. I tell you what, I hadn't done any yard work in like 15 years.
Yeah, that must be nice.
All right.
That's all I do with my spare time, unwillingly.
So this ain't my life anymore. But I would tell you, I remember going, I need to weed eat, but there's no way this is going to go well. And every once in a while, I'll look out there and I'll see the people doing my yard work, and they weed eat amazingly. Like they're incredible at it. How do you think you get good at that?
Oh, it's an art.
It's a real art.
It's an art. These landscapers, that's real art.
Them fellas are something else.
I know. Like, it's funny because we just bought a new house and they had their lawn, they treated their front yard. So, like, somebody came and did it for them.
Yeah, we do that.
Well, I'm not doing that. And so now I have this huge weight on my shoulders of having, because this, I mean, there's some pretty nice yards on every side of it.
You can't let it fall apart.
No, and it like looked pristine when we moved. It's already looking junky, and I'm like trying my best, but dude,
I got a yard guy if you need a yard guy.
I don't want a yard guy. I like doing my own yard, but
Doesn't sound
just,
like it.
No, I do.
Doesn't
but
sound like
it's
it.
just
That's
a
not what I'm
lot,
hearing.
man. It's a daily thing. You like, I hate that I have to. I wish I could just maybe twice a month spend a lot of time out there and then be good, but I feel like it's something I have to tend to daily.
You only live once,
driving me
Bennett.
crazy.
You only live once, unless you live more than once. But I'm right now I'm basing everything I know on the idea that you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on your deathbed, are you going to say, man, I wish I would have spent more time weed whacking? Or are you going to say, I wish I'd have spent more time doing things other than weed whacking? What do you think you're going to say on your deathbed?
I think I'll be fine with my decisions.
You'll probably be on morphine. It won't even matter.
It won't even
You'll probably be on so much morphine it won't even matter what you're thinking on your deathbed. That's the thing about deathbeds. You're typically on so many drugs, you don't even know what you're thinking.
Care. Right.
People spend so much time worried about what they're going to think on their deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think most people are thinking on their deathbed. Do you?
No, not really. Not really. At least not about cutting the yard.
No.
Right.
Or anything.
No.
Probably just want more morphine, Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations to SMU.
Yeah. What was the deal? The USC didn't make the postseason.
No, they were disappointed.
They were disappointed because they had a good team and didn't do
anything.
anything.
They had a good roster.
Yeah, they had a good roster.
Isaiah Collier.
Yeah.
Boogie Ellis.
Yeah.
Bronny James.
Yep.
And then the team stunk. Isaiah Collier got hurt. Bronny James wasn't good. Team stunk.
So this is one of those, I see the writing on the wall. I got to get out.
It's been there 11 years.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, okay, they're not going to fire you now, but what if you have another bad season next season? And, oh, by the way, you're moving into the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you have another bad season next season in your first season in the Big Ten? And you probably will.
Yeah.
All right. So then that's 2 in a row. They might get you. Or you can go to SMU. Standards very low.
Yeah, expectations way down because you're going to a way better league. Yeah.
They'll give you a new 5-6 year deal. Lots of money. It's still a big city. You get to live in Texas, a big city. Yeah, it's time. Let's do this. It makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
And now, big question, I think, among Arkansas fans is what happens at USC, because Eric Musselman's name has been connected to that. I don't know that Muss can get the job. And I've been talking for like the past hour, so forgive me if there's stuff out there. I'm focused on what I'm doing here. But I can tell you, if USC wants Muss, they can have him. He's ready. He's ready. Everything I've been told is that he's ready to not be the coach at Arkansas.
He's a West Coast guy, right?
He's been everywhere,
right.
And has never been anywhere too long. But I can just tell you, and this isn't crazy, but this would be a big factor in it, and it'd be a big factor for a lot of people. I don't mean it. Arkansas fans should not take offense to this. It's just true. Like, you want to live in Fayetteville, Arkansas, or Los Angeles, California?
Mm-hmm.
You know, most people would pick Los Angeles.
I wouldn't.
Bennett wouldn't.
I'd live in Fayetteville.
Bennett would live in
I
Fayetteville.
like Arkansas.
Bennett likes Arkansas. I do too, and I think Muss probably does too. But like Los Angeles, California is that
traffic.
It does have rough traffic.
That traffic's bad, dude.
It is bad traffic, Bennett. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that for sure. Anyway, hey, if Muss ends up there, he'll have to deal with the traffic. It won't be our problem, will it?
Nope.
All right. We'll be back with GP's Carryout.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Hey Grizzlies fans, after exciting hoops and a lucky night of gaming, where do you rest your head? Look no further than Southland Casino Hotel, proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies. Our high-rise hotel is the epitome of luxury and comfort. Picture this, you've just finished an evening of gaming and dining, so you head on over to one of our 300 rooms to end the night. Choose from standard suite and presidential suite, plus we're pet-friendly and offer mobility scooters for rent. It's a seamless experience for everyone. And don't miss the Main Street Exchange, right in the heart of our casino lobby. Whether you're craving a snack or need a souvenir of your stay, we've got you covered. From polo shirts to shot glasses, take a piece of the Southland excitement home with you. So come stay and play at Southland Casino Hotel, where every moment is designed for your enjoyment. Book your hotel stay by calling 833-703-3350 or visit online at southlandcasinohotel.com/hotel.
Guests must be 21 years of age or older to check in at hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're in the Built for Tough studio. Let's wrap it up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly in the first hour focused on women's basketball because the women's NCAA tournament continued last night. We had a doubleheader, 2 Elite 8 games. Iowa, LSU, UConn, USC. Stars all over the place. Caitlyn Clarke, Angel Reese, Paige Bueckers, Juju Watkins. Think about that for a second. You know every one of those names I just said. When's the last time you knew 4 women's basketball players' names?
I mean, I would like.
And I don't mean you. I just mean I'm making a larger point.
Yeah, college. This would probably be one of the first times.
Like you could just know these people in ways that you might not. Even when Gino was first like breaking through at UConn and winning all of these championships and making all of these Final Fours, you might know one of his players or 2 of his players. Yeah. But would you be able to name 4 different women from 4 different teams so easily? I don't know that most people could.
Right.
I think most sports fans, like the type of fans who actually, are like turning on SportsCenter or watching this show. I think even people who are just sports fans but don't really pay attention to women's college basketball at all, I think they probably still at least know the names that I just said. And that's a big step forward for the sport.
Yes.
They have recognizable people outside of just the one big star or the one big UConn star or before that, like the one big Lady Vol, or like when Brittany Griner was at Baylor, everybody knew Brittany Griner, but did you know 3 other people at 3 other schools? Maybe not. But right now we have it, and it was on full display last night, and it really does set up for this Caitlyn Clarke closing out her record-setting college career thing. It could really go out in the most perfect of ways. I don't have any idea whether it will or not, although Iowa is favored in the Final Four over UConn. I imagine they'd be underdogs to South Carolina. But if Caitlyn Clarke could win a national championship at Iowa by, in the Elite 8, eliminating the reigning national champs that eliminated her last season, LSU, and then in the national semifinals, eliminate the GOAT, Gino Auriemma, the biggest and best women's basketball program of all time, UConn, a former National Player of the Year just like you in Paige Bueckers, and the program that you wanted to attend, play for, but they didn't recruit you. You eliminate them and then go to the title game and beat an undefeated South Carolina team to win a national championship. Like that's, woo boy, that's all-time. I mean, she's already all-time great stuff. That's done. We're just trying to see how far she can take it. But this is set up for her. It will obviously be challenging as it could be, but also as rewarding as it could be if you do it in this order. LSU, UConn, South Carolina, bang, 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 national champion. Amazing. We'll see if she can do it, but she's going to have an opportunity, and while she does, it'll be the biggest story, I think, in sports, men or women.
What's today's biggest game?
We'll go to the second half of the doubleheader tonight on TNT. Mavericks, Warriors. Chase Center, San Francisco. Golden State, 1.5-point favorite. Totals 232.5. Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, both expected to play. Bennett, you won last night with Iowa.
Finally.
Congratulations. That's win 100 for you.
Finally.
You're now 100, 108, and 4. Negative 19.8 units.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you were negative 20.8 units yesterday.
Exactly.
Better yesterday. You're better today than you were yesterday. But that's all any of us could hope for. Just be better today than you were yesterday. That's really any of us could hope for.
Okay, I'm trying to understand why the Warriors are favored in this game. Dallas has won 7 in a row.
Okay.
Now the Warriors have won 4 in a row.
Okay.
So it is a mighty clash tonight.
It's a clash. This is where they say something's got to give.
You know what?
You tell me what.
I think I'm going to take the Mavs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Mavs.
Warriors right now sitting at 40 and 34. They're 10th in the West. They got a 2-game lead on Dillon Brooks and the Rockets with 8 games left to play. So
I think that thing's done. I think that thing's done.
It could be done, Bennett.
Yeah,
it could be done.
I mean, I was looking at their schedules. Now they both get to play the Trailblazers, so that should technically be a win for both of them. They actually, and this is so annoying. You talk about like garnering interest. The Rockets and the Warriors play each other on Thursday, and they didn't flex it to national TV. That's a huge game. The winner of that game probably is in the postseason, and the loser's probably out just because there's likely going to be a 3-game difference between both of them. I don't understand why they didn't flex that game. It's not on national TV.
Bennett, It might be a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity. Again, like there's not much left. I think the winner of that Houston Golden State game on Thursday is probably in the postseason. The loser's probably out.
This is a wild thing to get fired up about,
I'm
Bennett.
just saying, dude.
The game between the 10th place team and the 11th place team. I've never seen somebody so fired up in April about a game.
I would have watched it.
Between the 10th place team and the 11th place team in the West, but you would have watched it.
Hold on. You don't want to see Dylan Brooks versus Draymond Green with everything on the line?
But I'm on your side here.
Okay.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. If I got to be on a side, I want to be on yours.
Yeah.
You're taking the Warriors, you said?
No, I'm taking the Mavs tonight.
You're taking the Mavericks.
They won 7 in a row.
I know. You don't care that the Warriors, their backs are against the wall.
I mean, they're playing well, too.
I don't feel like you're factoring in the back against the wall factor.
Hang on. Do we have an injury report? God, Okay, so hold on. The Warriors are favored in this game, but the matchup predictor thing on ESPN has the Mavs at 62%.
It sounds like you need to look at that Mavericks injury report, Bennett.
I'm looking at it right now.
What do you think?
Josh Green's out. Derek Lively's a game-time decision. The Warriors don't have Dario Saric. He's a contributor off the bench. Kuminga and Clay both game time decisions.
It sounds like the betting markets are factoring in the back against the wall aspect of this, and you are failing to factor in the back against the wall aspect.
Bro,
of this.
they've had their back against the wall for weeks.
I don't feel like you're respecting where their backs are.
Give me the Mavs.
I don't think you have any idea where the Warriors' backs are. You're not respecting their backs.
Give me Luka.
Bennett said take the Mavericks. Okay, fine. Give them to him.
What are we watching on TV?
Hey, we talked about Roman Reigns earlier. It could be coming to an end. His reign as the Universal Champion. Another bit of evidence that might suggest that it could be coming to an end.
What's that?
They did their big WWE Legends documentary on him. It debuted this week.
What? Why? What do you? That actually sounds like a good thing to me.
They'd be like, hey, we just want to remind you how great this guy is before we take his title away.
I can see that. I don't know, man. I take that as listen. Don't be mad when we keep the title on him. Like he's a legend. Here's the documentary to prove it.
Okay, maybe you're right, Bennett.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not seeing this through the proper lens. Maybe I'm not seeing it through the proper lens. It's an hour, 25 minutes by all accounts. Do you watch these documentaries ever?
No, but I do.
People love them. People say they're great.
I don't. I do want to watch the Bray Wyatt one that just came out, though, because that one's supposed to be good. And
he had a rough go of it.
Yeah, he died.
That's what I meant by a rough go of it.
That's as rough as it gets. But, dude, I loved Bray Wyatt. Like, he was the modern-day Undertaker. He was the scary guy, and he was awesome at it. So, I'm going to watch that.
Rest in peace
to
him. Apparently these are good. People like them. I've never watched one, but I might someday. And if I start, it would be with this one. You can stream it right now. AETV.com. That's AETV.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
Colin Ward-Henniger, CBS Sports, got his NBA power rankings over at CBSSports.com, updated today. Number one, who do you think's number one in the power rankings?
I'm going to say number one is the Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets are number 4.
Wow.
Number 1 is your Oklahoma City Thunder.
Fraudulent.
Boston Celtics number 2. Minnesota Timberwolves number 3. Your Memphis Grizzlies all the way down at number 25. Here's what he wrote about the Grizz. The Grizzlies get a puncher's chance of picking up a win when like any of their best players actually take the floor. Submitted for evidence, Jaren Jackson Jr. put up 40.7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in Memphis' win over the Pistons on Monday. Brandon Clarke has been a sight for sore eyes, averaging 11 points and 5 rebounds in 21 minutes off the bench in his first action of the year.
It's positive.
It's a positive blurb.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that blurb. You can go read all the blurbs, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be Wednesday. You know what that means? That's Mike Wallace.
Yes, I believe live from Milwaukee.
How about that?
Yep. Got the Bucks on tap tomorrow night.
Can't wait for that.
That might be that ain't the Pistons, buddy. That ain't the Pistons. You better bring your bring your lunch pail for that one.
Wish we could play the Pistons again.
I do too. We get them Friday. They're here Friday.
I know. But I mean, like, instead of the Bucks. I guess you can't always get what you want, you know? I guess Mick Jagger was right.
Yeah.
I guess Mick Jagger was right.
Yeah.
Can't wait for tomorrow, though.
Let's go.
Let's go. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.